we are a young church, about 12 years old, started in my home with about 8 people, and now we've grown to the point after 12 years to where we need to expand and buy some land and place our first building on it.
We're trying to build a facility that will bring people together. We know the children, if they come, the parents will come. So we have to make sure that we capture what they will need to keep their interest and be able to put the word in them.
What we found is that many other firms did not embody what we were about. They had a generic a generic approach to the building process, the design process and whatnot. We just felt that Live Design gave us a personable experience, and they made sure that we were comfortable with who we are and we didn't try to make us to be something that we're not.
The expertise that Live Design Group brings to us is their wealth of information. They know church and different kind of churches, not just a traditional or denominational. They've designed different types for different type of churches, and it's always different for them. So it's not cookie cutter, it's what the church needs and what the church wants.
What we enjoy about Live Design is the process, the work that happens before we even come into the live session. So they send us a questionnaire, a spreadsheet of our likes, our dislikes, our desires as a church organization. So when we get here, the Live Design, it kind of removes a little bit of the anxiety that we had from day one.
We like the Live Design Group because when they say Live Design, that's actually what we go through. We see it transforming right in front of our eyes.
This process is awesome, taking the box and turning it into fitting into the concept, looking at square footage and making sure they're not trying to force something to fit, they're making it to where we like it, the flow goes well for us and help us to develop our uniqueness.
These guys understand ministry. It's one thing to have an architect, but it's another thing to have an architect who's familiar with church and who's familiar with ministry and the ongoings of ministries. There were even times in our own Live Design that said they would even pose a question like, well, what happens with the youth at this time? And then we were like, oh man, yeah, sure, the youth are supposed to do this. So they help us think through that. If you have an architect who's into commercial development, sure, he or she may be able to tell you where a countertop should go, where a kitchen should go. But as far as ministry and the workings and the flow of your people on a daily basis, what happens on an off night from Sunday service? What are you planning on doing with these rooms? Let's think about multiple uses of rooms. That is like really invaluable to have a firm and architects who have that mindset.
It doesn't force anything on us. They give us the information from their expertise, and then they guide us in the right direction. And that's what we've encountered here.